Well, thank you everyone for coming here today. It's a brilliant turnout for a demonstration called at short notice. So as you know, we're here to say solidarity with refugees, no to Fortress Europe. It's an absolute scandal that the Polish border police tear-gassed refugees on the Poland-Belarus border earlier this week, and we have to say it loud and say it clear, as we've been chanting, that refugees are indeed welcome in the EU, but also we have to say that to our government that refugees must be allowed here, because it's an absolute scandal that Priti Patel is sanctioning people who are crossing the channel, turning boats away. This is a fundamental breach of international human rights and international laws on refugees. No decent human being should be turned away that is desperate to flee climate change, war, poverty and persecution.
On the way of surviving, and then when they arrive here, they're greeted with media hostility. But I want to say a huge thank you to all those volunteers, and they are volunteers, at the Royal National Lifeboat Institution.
Yes!
Saving lives. For those communities and churches and mosques and synagogues that have welcomed them when they've come ashore in Britain and ensure they're clothed and fed. That surely is a tradition that we can and should be proud of. But, and this is a huge but, look at what is now happening across Europe. People are stuck, refugees are stuck in Lesbos, they're stuck on Lampedusa, they're stuck in many, many other places, cannot move anywhere, as a series of barbed wire fences and electronic devices are assembled across every border in Europe in order to prevent refugees moving anywhere else. Then the whole thing reaches its appalling conclusion with people trying to leave Belarus to enter Poland and being pushed back by a militarized border. And apparently there are now British soldiers there, we are told, not with guns but with shovels.
Our hearts. Many of our members have family roots in the region where acts of gross inhumanity towards refugees are currently taking place. 2 of my grandparents were born in Poland, 2 of my partners in Belarus. When they came here, they certainly were not greeted with a welcome sign. They had to endure Britain's first hostile environment, which had the same deep resentment and animosity towards those seeking freedom, safety and a better life for their families was expressed here as it is today in Poland and many EU countries. In 1905, Britain's Tory government passed a law, the Aliens Act, from which all of our country's inhumane immigration and refugee legislation is descended and has since been made even more severe. That experience leaves an imprint. For some Jews, the answer was to forge their own nationalism, not us. As Jewish socialists and as proud internationalists, we offer instead unconditional support to migrants, refugees and minorities today. We fight for equality for all, against nationalism and against racism. We fight for the rights of human beings to cross borders when they need to and when they wish to. We work for a world where no one feels that they have to flee for their safety, freedom and human rights.
The Polish government is presenting the refugees as a dangerous force that Poland needs to be defended from. Refugees who have been allowed to die of hypothermia in the woods. This is absolutely sickening. As a member state of NATO, the military alliance, Poland has invoked the collective defence principle, which calls on its NATO allies like Britain to come and protect it. But this is a humanitarian crisis, not a military conflict. The Polish and the British governments should be granting asylum for these refugees, not whipping up hatred against them. Say it clear!
Refugees are welcome here!
Say it loud, say it clear!
Refugees are welcome here!
Say it loud, say it clear!
Refugees are welcome here!
I can see some people down here coming to join us. Make sure they can hear us. Say it loud, say it clear!
Refugees are
say it clear.
Refugees are welcome here.